Hello and welcome to our daily show where we talk all things personal and financial development. And today we are talking about, is your money personality helping or hurting your success? If you didn't even know you have a money personality, you definitely want to tune in so you can find out what it is and if it's helping or hurting your success. If you don't already know who we are, we're Martin and Chelsea Matthews. We're in business together. We're in business. We're founders of M Wealth Group, a financial consulting and investment agency, and we're authors of this book, Let's Fight About Money, helping couples communicate about money, handle conflict, and build an unbreakable financial house. And that's our mission. We want to help you build an unbreakable financial house so you can handle anything that comes your way and create the life you truly want to live. So today, money personalities. Did you know there was such a thing, that you have a money personality? And depending on what your money personality is, it could be helping your success or it could be hurting your success, right?
Yeah. So we're gonna go over those today. What your money personality is, and if you have a money personality that is negatively impacting your success financially, how to handle it. Because look, you can predict somebody's financial outcome just with the way they handle money. So if you watch any movie, they always say follow the money. You know why they say follow the money? Because money displays behavior, right? Money, the way you use money shows your behavior and shows what you were thinking. So they follow the money because I don't need to know the person for me to know their behavior. There's patterns. There's the way the person used money. They go over here and spend this money often at this kind of place. They know that's a pattern. You may not realize it, but you have a pattern in how you utilize money, how you think about it and how you use it. And so it could be something that helps you increase your survival and do better, or it could be things that reduce your survival and do worse. So you have to understand what that personality is, and how you can actually use money in the right way to do all the things you're actually trying to do, because it's just a tool.
And also when it comes to being in a relationship or in a business, anyone that you have to make money, financial decisions with, it's important to also know what their money personality is, because you guys could have different money personalities and that could cause a conflict. And actually in our book, which you can get a copy of at letsfightaboutmoney.com, we break down all the money personalities, where they come from, and also how to communicate about them to get on the same page with your partner, business partner, anyone that you have to make financial decisions. Because really, even if you have the same money personality as somebody, we all had different experiences growing up, right? And the things that we saw and heard and experienced having to do with money all went to building our money personality, the things that we think about money, the ways that we act around money, the things that we do with money. And so really understanding how we experience money, what we do with it, what we believe about it, it will really help us determine what, like Martin was saying, you could predict somebody's based on their money personality, the level of their success. And so once you increase your knowledge about what is your money personality, what's helping, what's hurting, then you could do something about it. You could take responsibility and decide to keep the pieces you want and get rid of the pieces that you don't. So you can have more control over your results and your success. All right. So you ready to break down these money personalities?
Yes.
Okay. So money personality number 1 is called spender. Oh, and as you come in, please let us know where you're coming in from. Let us know what your money personality is in the comments. And if you know anyone that you would like to hear this, maybe a spouse, a partner, a friend, tag them, share this out. Okay, so the first money personality is spender. Okay, now I will tell you one thing really quickly about any of these money personalities. There is not a right and wrong money personality, although we will get to kind of the ideal money personality. But just because you are any one of these money personalities does not mean it's good or bad. There's good pieces and not so good pieces for each one. And so when it comes to spenders like to have a lot of fun, right? They like to spend, they like to treat everyone, they're having a good time, they might be a little life of the party, right? But guess what? Spenders might be broke. Spenders might have a lot of debt. Spenders might not be, stacking away for a rainy day. Spenders might not have a lot of wealth built because they're spending it all, right? And so if you have a tendency to spend and you're out with friends and you're always like, I got it, I'll get the check, don't worry about it, right? You could be a spender. And so it's important to look at, do I always like to spend? And I'll tell you, when we got in a relationship, this is the spender over here. Okay, I was not the spender. So why don't you tell a little example of what some spending habits could be that may not be so helpful to your success?
So what she means is I was the spender in the beginning of our relationship. So now I had a buddy who he made it rain at the nightclub with our rent money. this is years before I met Chelsea.
And that buddy was named Martin Matthews?
No, it wasn't me. I would not make it rain with our rent money. But this dude, he made it rain with the rent money. And I'm like, what the hell is that? What is that all about?
I had a roommate who did that, and then I kicked him out.
so look, anyway, that was that scenario. But when you can end up having, there's a lot of false information or bad information that floats around society that's not true or not accurate. And so if you accept it to be true and you act upon it, it could be harmful to you. So one of the information I got when I was a kid was that money was made to be spent. Somebody said that to me one time. And then so I was operating with that information. So they didn't say money was made to be invested or money was made to be used. They said money was made to be spent. So guess what I did when I got money? I spent it. That's all I did, because I was operating with information that money is made to be spent. So you might hear other pieces of data and information that comes to you that you have to look at to see if it's true or not. Drake's got a song where he says the money's hard to make. You realize that's a lie. This is a guy who's worth a lot of money and telling you the money's hard to make. That is not true. You don't have to accept the information just because it's popular. The other information from music, a lot of music, popular movies have bad information that you might be taking in and operating on. The other one is more money, more problems. So it's a famous song.
More money, less problems.
I like the song, except the part. So, but P. Diddy is gonna be a billionaire. Biggie was on his way to creating lots of wealth. Okay, if they thought it was such too many problems, they would not have continued accumulating wealth. You understand? So when you accept this data because you're missing context, and you hear, oh, this is bad, or this is however it is, money is made to be spent, then I will operating with that information. We did an episode about your money thermostat. I would get to having a certain amount of money in my savings account, and anything above that I would spend. I would go to the mall and I didn't even have anything I wanted to buy. I just could not hold on to money. I just didn't even want to hold on to it. So it's like, okay, I got this much in my account, that's fine. And I would walk through the mall looking for things to buy. I had nothing I even wanted to buy. It was just, I had this money, I had the extra money. So instead of having the data that money is made to be used, as money is made to be invested, as money is made to be put to work so it can multiply and expand, money is meant to create freedom. I didn't have that data. The data I had was money was made to be spent. So I grew up as a spender. When I first came to America, started making a little bit of money, that's what I did. I spent it. So that's what Chelsea's referring to as that was my money personality.
So as we're going through these different money personalities, I want you to make a mental note, maybe even jot it down. What are some of your thoughts, some of the things that you heard about money, some of the things that you believe about money that maybe you want to look at and see if you can identify what money personality you are and the things that have helped you in that money personality and the things that maybe have hurt you. in your success. So the second money personality is saver. Okay, this was more of my money personality. Okay, I like to save the money. I like to see it stack up. I like to have a cushion. I like to know that we have financial security, right? And the things that I heard was it was hard. It's hard to make money, and you could lose it. It's hard to make. You could get it taken, and you have to hold on to what you have and be grateful for what you have and take what you could get. And so I had some scarcity mindset. I was afraid that I was going to, for one thing, I wanted to save up my money and not spend it. But then the other thing, once I had it, I was afraid of losing it. So I always kind of had this scarcity mindset that like it was never enough. And if I had it, I was going to lose it and have to start all over. And guess what? I had to do that a lot. I would save up money and then something would happen. I would use it. Somebody would take it. Some unexpected thing, emergency would come up. I would move. I would have to start all over. So all of these things, it's like my beliefs about money actually created my reality. And so this is what why we want to talk about these things is because we want to invite you to look at what your beliefs and habits are around money so that you could decide for yourself. Because otherwise we walk around in life and we operate based on our beliefs and we're not even aware of it sometimes because we're like programmed with the experiences that we had, the things that we saw, the things that we heard, and we don't even question it. It's our reality until we look and say, hey, is money made to be spent? Well, not always. Is money hard to get? Not always. Will your money always be taken? No, not if you take the right steps and pay attention to it, right? And so by looking at what are your observations, what are your beliefs and habits around money, then you get to decide what you want to keep. So I decided I was sick of living in survival mode. I was sick of always feeling broke. I wanted to create more abundance. So I had to look at why do I think and believe these things about money? And do I want to keep believing it? No, you have a choice. Now, I will say that just like all these money personalities, what I said, there's no right or wrong, good or bad. There's good and bad to all of them, right? So I wanted to get rid of some of that scarcity mindset. And I still do like to save money. I still like to see it stack up. I still like financial security. And so the things that we started doing, because he was a spender and I was a saver. So guess what? When we started making financial decisions together, that caused conflicts, money conflicts, because he wanted to spend and I wanted to save. When I wanted to save, it made him feel like I'm trying to control him and tell him what to do with the money. And when he wanted to spend, it made me feel like he's going to make us go broke and he's putting the family at financial risk, right? And so none of those things were true, but we were operating based on our belief and our money personality. So we had to learn how to look from each other's viewpoint. We also had to look at our own viewpoint and say, hey, is this true or is this not? So when he wants to spend, I can look at, hey, is this something that's going to help our family success, our business success? And when I want to save, he can look at, hey, is this something that's going to strengthen our financial strength? Is this going to make us more financially strong? Or is it something that we need to spend? Right? And so by looking at and observing what our viewpoints are, then you can decide, hey, is this putting me at financial risk or is this making me financially stronger? Okay, so anything else you want to say on Saver? All right, so money personality number 1, spender. Money personality number 2, saver. Money personality 3, avoider. Okay, this is somebody who you open up a drawer and it's like all their mail and bills and they're unopened, which I think maybe somebody had some avoider going on too.
Yeah,
when we moved in together, he came to Atlanta before me and I was like going through all these boxes and I found these boxes and boxes of like unopened mail. I'm like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah,
So sometimes
you
you can have some of these like kind of layered. It's not like you're just one thing. But anyways, this is somebody who also, like, if you go out to eat and then you don't even look at the bill, you just pay it, right? Or somebody tells you something costs something and it doesn't really make sense, but you don't really want to deal with it. You're like, just whatever, or so it's somebody that is like avoiding dealing with something. Or how about this? You need to get life insurance, but you don't want to think about dying. You don't want to think about your family without you, or you don't want to think about what if something bad happens. And so you avoid it, right? You need to do something, but you don't want to do it. So you just avoid it. And guess what? It gets harder. It gets more costly and it gets harder to deal with. And so, you have to be able to confront things. And guess what? When you confront something, it's a lot easier than you think. You know how a lot of times we have fears in life and we think the worst of something. When we actually do it, it's like, oh, that wasn't so bad.
Yeah. So look, when you avoid something, it's either an inability or unwillingness to confront it. Mm-hmm. So which means you don't want to face it. And so you avoid it, you turn around, you turn this other way, you look that other way, all these different things. Happens all the time with people and their finances. And so it happens especially with debt and credit. So a lot of times, if you borrow money, you're going to be late. What people do is they avoid talking to their creditor. That's why they have all these calls. They're calling you all the time because they're trying to figure out what's happening to you. You are avoiding the call. You're avoiding the conversation because nobody ever taught you that you should talk to your lender. So if you borrow money, whether it's your mortgage, your car, whatever it is, your credit cards, whatever thing is, if you borrow money and
a friend who you borrowed money from,
we've had people that we lend money to and they disappear. So they vanish off the face of the earth. And we don't even, it's not like we're chasing them down. They just go out of communication. Why? Because they're avoiding having that conversation because either it's uncomfortable to them. They think we'll be mad. We probably won't be mad. Most of the time, I don't even like to lend money to people, to friends. And a lot of times I may lend money and assume that money's gone. Now, if you pay me back.
But if you're out there and you owe us money.
It would be a good idea because here's the reality about this. I get asked
it's okay to pay it back.
I get asked for money a lot from family members, from all kinds of different people. Nothing wrong. I'm not offended if somebody asks me for money. Sometimes people need help. But sometimes I need somebody else to pay me back so that I can help somebody else. You see? So that way that money cycles around. But anyway, we're talking about money personalities. We're talking about does your money personality help you or is it hurting you, hurting your success? And so avoider, just somebody who's not willing to confront something or not able to confront it. You see this a lot in areas of investments, in areas of debt, mostly debt, credit, things like that. Call your lenders and let them know, hey, I lost my job. I'm working on finding a new job. Can you give me a time frame in which it might not negatively impact my credit?
Also in relationships, this is why we named our book Let's Fight About Money, because if you're fighting about money, you're at least communicating. And a lot of people, they will just resort to ignoring it. They will avoid it because it ends in fight. They don't know how to see the other person's viewpoint. And so they just avoid it. And that's the worst thing that you could do. So just if this is you, if you find yourself avoiding, just find one little step that you could take in anything that you're avoiding. If it's a creditor, okay, I'm going to give them a call and let them know the situation. If it's a spouse, hey, can we talk about this thing? I'll tell you one really quick little tip in our book we talk about is instead of trying to make the other person see your viewpoint, for one, try to see their viewpoint. And for two, to communicate how you're thinking or feeling about something is you can say, hey, when you say or do this, it makes me feel like this. Instead of you're doing this or you don't do that. that invites the other person to listen, and the communication can open up. Now, there's tons of other information and resources and tips in our book. And if that's something that you're dealing with, you definitely want to get a copy.
So, yeah, before you go on, there's one thing I want to say about avoiding in relationships. If you want to have a financial conversation with your spouse, I'm not talking about you guys are casually dating and they got their own house and you got your own place and all that, where you guys don't make any decisions together. I'm talking about if you're in a relationship, like you live with somebody, maybe you live with somebody, you're thinking about combining, you're serious, but maybe they have separate finances than you and you're thinking about combining things, or maybe some things are combined, maybe you're married, whatever it is, and they are avoiding a conversation. There's usually a deeper thing below that. Like somebody avoids having a conversation about life insurance. It doesn't mean they don't care about their family. It usually means they're probably scared. They have some weird fear that they have about that particular area or subject. And I had a relative who said, I'll get life insurance when I'm this age. And it was like a really odd age. So I thought, why would it? And it was like a number of years into the future. It was like 14 years into the future. And I thought, why would he want to buy life insurance at this specific age 14 years from now? And it was because his daughter would turn 18 years old, and he did not want, he was married at the time. He did not want his wife to get the money. That's why he's like, when I'm this age, it was like a super odd, weird age. And I'm like, oh, that's why he's doing that. So he was avoiding doing something because he had a weird, irrational fear, which you could just get a trust and make the trust your beneficiary, and then money can go to your kid if you don't want it to go to your wife or ex-wife or whatever. So that was a simple solution, but he didn't know that. When people are doing something unethical, they will tend to avoid that area. When somebody's doing something unethical with their money, sometimes they could be gambling the money and don't want you to know about it. And they don't want to have a conversation about it. When you bring up a money conversation, they fight you on it. They tell you you're whatever. They're trying to avoid it. And you think, oh, he just don't like to talk about money. It could be that there is a deeper issue below that, where there's an unethical, where they're not being ethical on the subject of money. And that's why they don't want to discuss it. Very important to remember that. Doesn't mean that that's
not always.
Doesn't mean that that's what
spouse isn't wanting to talk to you.
It does not mean that's what it is.
Don't go accuse them. I know you're doing something unethical. Martin and Chelsea told me.
So it doesn't mean that. It means understand that there may be an emotional reaction there, and you might need to toe gently and ask them gently and say, hey, when I bring up this topic, it seems like you don't want to talk about it. Is there a reason? Is there a different reason? Is there something else that's making you not want to discuss this particular thing? And you can listen to them without judgment. Sometimes people have money stolen from them before. They've had relationships where people are stealing from them, and they are embarrassed by that, and they don't want to admit it. So they may not want to. They're not thinking you might steal from them. They're reliving a past trauma. That's why they're avoiding something, because it's painful for them. That's what I mean. There might be something deeper to that when you're bringing those kinds of things up. So keep that in mind.
Okay, money personality number 4 is money monk. This is somebody who believes that they are above money, that money is dirty, that I
don't need money, but I'm broke. God's going to provide money for me.
That money is the root of all evil. That's not even... if you've read that scripture, that's not even exactly what
God's
it says.
God's going to make it rain money.
Yeah, and God keeps bringing you opportunities, and you push them away saying God's going to provide. No, you got to use your gifts and talents that God provided for you to make that money, to make it rain, okay? It's not just going to fall on you, for doing nothing. You got to do something. And also, we see this a lot in many different churches, is that put God first. Put God first. That, money is not everything and all of these things. But guess what? It takes money to run a church. It takes money to get the word out. It takes money to run charities. Yes. It takes money to do everything. Okay. So let me tell you, The churches, they may tell you that money is not spiritual, but they will sure accept your money gladly, okay? And they will ask you for your money gladly. So you have to look at really what that scripture says is the love of money itself, okay? So when you put money above everything else, and maybe your worth is by the amount of money that you have, or you don't have a purpose beyond just the money, like, oh, I want to make $1 million, but you have no reason for it. Okay, that's when that's where it's talking about that it's not good, it's not spiritual, it's not, it's not healthy, because there's nothing beyond that. So money is just a tool. Yeah. Money is a tool to exchange, and also money is a representation of the value that you exchange. So you exchange less value, you get less money. You exchange more value, that means you're solving more problems, you're providing more services, you're exchanging more. You're rewarded for that. And then you can go and do more with your money. You can give to your church, you can give to your charities, you can give to your community, you can give to your kids, you can give to yourself. So all of the things that you want to be able to create in life, it's funded by money. Yeah. Okay. So if you feel any kind of weirdness about receiving money or having money or striving to get money, look at why is that? Like, what is it that tells you it's not okay to make money or a certain amount of money? Some churches will tell you, oh, this is the right amount. Beyond that, it's too much. It's greed. But look at some of the most successful people in the world and the things that they're able to do to actually make a change in the world. Yeah. Do you want to just get by? I mean, really, I think it is selfish to just think about yourself and just think about surviving and just getting by. You have gifts and talents to share, and it's your duty to become as successful as you can so that you can make as big of an impact to help not just you and your family and your community, but as wide of a sphere as you can.
Yeah, absolutely. So look, there is no nobility in poverty. There is only poverty in poverty. Some people think it's noble to be
selfish,
poor and all this
then
stuff.
You need other people to help you. So if you have the ability to rise above it.
Sorry. Yeah. So look, the place I was born, Liberia, West Africa, it has been ranked, I think, a second or third year in a row, the poorest nation on earth, meaning that per capita, the amount of income the average person make is the lowest on the planet. Liberia. This is where I was born. It's the oldest country in Africa. It became independent in 1847. July 26, 1847 is when this nation became independent. There were no other independent African nations at the time. The entire continent was colonized by European countries. You have this little Liberia. It was formed by free slaves, former slaves. I don't like to call them free slaves. A lot of them freed themselves. Former slaves who went back to Africa and is settled in this nation, Liberia, right? So it's sought to form a country. There were a lot of things that went wrong in this place. We had war. We had all kinds of crazy stuff that happened in Liberia. Poorest country in the world. And so I say that because as a reminder that a lot of times in Africa, there's this view that God's going to provide. I understand that. And I understand about belief and all these different things. But at the same time, God is not going to make it rain on you. He's not going to make it rain money from the sky. It don't work like that.
It makes it rain.
You've got abilities within yourself that God's given you that you can then take those abilities and then use them in exchange with the other people on this planet. And that's how you get money. So it's not about money being spiritual, not spiritual, bad, evil. Money comes from your production. If you produce, you get money. If you don't produce, you don't get money. It doesn't matter what you produce. If it is something somebody else wants, they will exchange with you for it. All kinds of things throughout history has been used as money. Shells, clams, gold, salt, all these different, many things have been used as money. We then made it paper because it was easier to carry. You can fold it and you can exchange. And then now people started printing more and more of it. But now that's what's considered money. But money, it comes from your production. So keep that in mind. You are. Somebody says people need to use God's wisdom. Yeah, you got to apply God's wisdom. What did God talk about? And depending on whatever you believe, I study lots of different philosophies, different theology. I've read the Quran, the Bible, all these different. I've read lots of different things, and I study lots of different things, right? And so I'm like, because I want to understand, what did they say? What is it really saying? And so it talks about planting seeds and being productive and being diligent and being studious, and wealth come to those who work and produce. And the lazy man doesn't get shit. That's what it says. I'm paraphrasing, but
quoted word for word.
so that's what I mean. I'm giving you the truth. That's what it's telling you. You got to produce. So that's what it comes down to. And then number 5.
Number 5, money personality. And this is what we are all striving for, because once you look at and confront your own money personality, your beliefs, your habits, your actions around money, you keep the good, get rid of the bad, then you can become what's called a wealth creator. Okay, so you keep the habits, the beliefs, the actions that help you. You get rid of the junk that hurts you, so you can become a wealth creator. And then one of the things that has really been helpful with Martin and I is once we were able to get on the same page, it doesn't mean I turned him into a saver or he turned me into a spender. No.
She makes it rain on me.
You just totally made me lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
So yeah, so we didn't turn each other into. We didn't swap into. Anyways, yes. So we have helped each other to keep our good habits and get rid of our bad habits, so we can become wealth creators, right? And we use the good things of our money personalities and the things that, where I want to save a little bit more, he looks at, hey, how can we save more so that it creates more financial security for her? And I think, okay, how can I look at ways to spend more that we can build more wealth? We can grow our business, expand our, family success.
So yeah, if you want to finish your thought.
I'm done.
So wealth, the word wealth actually came from Middle English, and which also derived from an earlier version of that, which actually had to do with wellness and your health and your prosperity. It wasn't just about money. So when we're talking about being a wealth creator, it's about being wealthy in different areas of your life. There's too many people who have a lot of money but have very little wealth in terms of their family, in terms of being with their spouse. One thing we hear all the time is people like, I can't work with my spouse. I would kill them. This I always find very interesting to me. Now, somebody would actually say this about their spouse.
We haven't killed each other yet.
So they'll find interesting. And I know people are joking, people say it and all like that. But if back in the day, people worked together. Let's say if somebody was a farmer, the family farmed together. That's what they did. They worked together. It's only since we started building all these big cities, and people started going into the workplace and doing different types of jobs that families became working separated. Families used to work together. Now, every now and then there'll be somebody who wants to do something different in the family business, and that was fine. But families worked together. This whole phenomenon that you can't work with your spouse because you're going to kill them. Like, you understand what you're communicating. You're saying, I have chosen to be in a relationship with this person, but if I spend too much time with them, I'm going to harm them. I'm going to kill them. Now, I know it's just kind of an expression, but families working together.
It can be used in court.
Families working together can build wealth. You can work together and you both bring whatever assets you have and merge that together to go build wealth. Wealth isn't just about money. It's about freedom. It's about being in great health. So one of the things Chelsea, myself, our son, we all go to the gym regularly. We all strive to eat healthy. We all do different things. Chelsea and I go for walks throughout the day here because during the work day, we have a thing where we have all the staff members, whoever works here, they have time to go take a walk. All of these things are important to your overall wealth. It's not just about money. It's about freedom. It's about doing things on your terms. It's about contribution. It's about helping others, all of that. So
health and wealth, get it up and keep it up.
Get it up and keep it up. So I want to tell them where they can go.
Yes. So we would love to hear what your money personality is, and maybe some good habits that you're keeping and some bad ones you're getting rid of. And we want you to join us for an event that we are putting on this Friday, all about how to survive and thrive in times of high inflation. So prices are going up, things are a little crazy, and we want to help you to survive and thrive in any conditions, okay? Especially with high inflation like is happening now. So you can register for our event. It's free, 6buildingblocks.com/inflation, 6buildingblocks.com/inflation. And we hope to see you there.
Awesome. So we'll catch you guys with Monday through Friday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. You can catch us here on YouTube, on Instagram.